this is the article from last year, and pretty much it's like Donald Trump's connection to the mob, pretty much. And they're asking last year, is he still connected to the mob? They were asking that. Is he still connected? Is he still? No, but the thing, but people don't realize that Trump got visited by the FBI at the age of 30. This is how he got interactive with federal government at the age of 30. What were you doing at the age of 30? Did you get visited by the FBI? Did Joe Biden get visited by the FBI? Did anybody get visited by the FBI? Donald Trump got visited by the FBI by the same guy who busted people in a movie that came out a few years ago.
Actually, I think Biden sent the feds to Trump. Biden sending the feds to everybody. So.
and this is pretty much. It's just pretty much he was a front for purchasing land for mobsters. In connection with his lawyer, the guy with the face, he had connection with organized crime, and Donald Trump became pretty much a transfer of purchasing land from him, allegedly. This is all allegedly, because he's still not in jail. So this is like,
Corin, watch that episode, Corin B.
Yes.
Just don't watch it right before you go to bed.
Yeah, so this is crazy. I mean, like, and the historical. If people really need to pull up this article in the Newsweek, and this pretty much breaks you down, almost like the history.
I am broken down.
Almost like the past 40 years of the FBI. I mean, of the Mafia and Donald Trump's career. It's like almost like interwoven up to the point of like, famously, and when he first built the Trump Tower, that nasty ass building right on Fifth Avenue, that has like bomb-proofed barricades around it now, that was built by like a mob-backed, pretty much.
They have black-proof barriers around it too.
That what proof? Oh,
but Trump's not racist.
So pretty much he used this is you gotta really get this article. It says mob. This is crazy, and so pretty much back to the building. He used a cement workers union that was backed by the Mafia. They were able to break the strike, and the Mafia pretty much made people work for free at Trump Tower.
Yeah, he was sued for not paying people that did work.
He said black proof. What is black?
Oh shit!
So this is insane. I mean, so like this is even like we have to realize like you worked with mafias. Mafias worked adjacent to his organization over the years. He built stuff out in Atlantic City. He had to be talking to mafias, and even there's even later interviewed when he like after The Apprentice came out, and he was if I can pull this up.
Yes, please, because those are some ugly ass shoes. They're just flashing the screen.
So that's the thing, like. Trump is such a Teflon nightmare that nothing's been pinned on him. But this quote right here, when he said that I don't want to have cameras all over my office dealing with contractors, politicians, mobsters, and everyone else who I have to deal with in my business. Mobsters don't like as they are talking to me having cameras over the room. It will play well on television, but it doesn't play well for them. He's like admitting to having meetings with mobsters.
He's like, listen, I got to make sure that the environment is conducive to criminal activity. Is this your king? Exactly. Like, this is exactly that's the shit that I'm like, yo, like, this is the guy you support. The guy tells a fucking journalist, hey, I knew that the coronavirus was deadly back in February, but I wanted to let over 200,000 people die.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And his base is even more riled up in support of him.
Yeah. I mean, like, what if he has quotes like this? I feel like nothing can touch him. He really said something like this, and he still got elected. Anyone else would have said something.
I think got elected because of this. Like the worst, I'm telling you, the worst things that he does. Like he said, I could murder people on Fifth Avenue. He could be a mass shooter, and more people will vote for him. The worse he does.
And then if you want real special stuff, it then drifts into the Russian mob. This is how terrible this man is. Not just the Italian mob, the Russian mob. This is terrible. This is a greasy ass dude, yo.
Thank you for the raid, DEFCON 201.
Yeah, thanks, DEFCON. I mean, it's just crazy right now when it comes to that. So we still. I mean, that's the thing. We nothing's been pinned on him. But the thing is, this is what he's worried about when he leaves. He's worried about so many things. This is why he's really dangerous right now when it comes to this election. That he has.
I like how you said dangerous. And Corin B in the chat says his base was chanting, "quote We love you." Yesterday, it's a full-on cult at this point. I'm telling you, yo, he's gonna tell them. He's gonna be like, "Yo, Hale Bob's comet is about to come by. Yeah. We're about to put on these black and purple Nikes, and we're about to get this great drink." It's about to go down, son. It's about to go down. It's just gonna be a bunch of Trump supporters in MAGA hats and black and purple Nikes that's gonna be laying in bunk beds, dead.
So Phil can switch to the.
He basically just murdered 200,000 people, and they love him for it.
The mod video. So we're gonna play this documentary, the short documentary. Hopefully we about pretty much the article we just saw. The documentary was kind of a little supplement to it, so we can laugh at Mafia Italian accents and stuff, and bad reenactments of mob hits.
Donald Trump
really to drive the point home.
Yeah.
I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
But
what is wrong with him?
And some questions arise.
Trump Plaza.
I know the best people, and I'm totally self-funding my campaign. So I don't have to take donors and special interest people and lobbyists. I don't have to.
Oh, that's why you took, almost $1 billion this time around, right?
Trump has in the past boasted of his business integrity. I'm 100% clean.
It is murder because he knew how dangerous it was, and then he told people not to protect themselves. That's murder. It'd be one thing if he downplayed the severity, but he said it was a hoax.
So the doc is
ended up in a heap of broken dreams.
Wow, that was real dramatic.
Years ago, 4 of his gambling businesses went bust.
Oh yeah.
Back in 1980,
he's a good businessman.
His first casino here.
Look at that business booming right there.
Partners worked for the Mafia. The picture in New York was no better.
Here lies Fat Tony Salerno, once one of the most feared men in New York. He was the boss of the general.
We're talking about the president of the United States is somebody named Fat Tony. Is this your king?
Mobsters are a lock on New York concrete. While most builders use steel and some concrete, Trump built the tallest.
Yeah, that Fat Tony helped him build that building, pretty much.
Fat Tony Salerno was fat. He was the head of the Genovese crime.
That guy's an asshole.
Which was the most
damn, son.
And Fat Tony didn't just supply concrete to Donald Trump.
Just call him by his name, yo. You're supposed to be a professional.
The evidence is that
shit.
Fat Tony Salerno met with Donald Trump in Roy Cohn's office.
What?
Incredibly logical sense. Not only did I have sources telling me that at the time, but when you consider that he's building the largest concrete structure of its time, and the concrete industry is controlled by Fat Tony Salerno, it makes all the sense in the world.
In the early 90s, Trump was almost $1 billion in the red. By 2004,
oh shit, what a loser.
He recovered and got into reality TV. But here's someone.
This guy, his career is trash, yo. What is this, yo? Yeah.
In 1991, in this bar, Felix Sater had a row with another Wall Street broker. Sater snapped the stem of a margarita glass and stabbed the man in the neck and face. The man had 110 stitches.
This documentary is about Trump, ladies and gentlemen.
Out of jail, he took part in a $40 million stock market fraud, boosting shares and then selling them at a profit, a pump and dump scam. Then Sater made a deal with the FBI. informing on his fellow fraudsters in the Cosa Nostra.
Yeah, Blind Bat, you're absolutely correct. If a person screams fire in a movie theater, he's responsible for their
It
deaths.
was sealed. Sater and Trump got into business together in the early 2000s.
But this is the exact opposite, Waffles. He said that there was no fire, and there was a fire.
So the documentary is pretty much saying
This is one of three
you still have connection with the
developments
mafia in the
with
early
Bayrock.
2000s.
From Trump Soho, the
Yep.
name.
Probably still
Before,
today.
Trump was the money behind this project.
Do you think the mob is gonna lose out on an opportunity to gain the power of the president, the office of the president of the United States? You think they're just gonna give that up?
And Trump camelback.
Hell
in
no.
Arizona. When property prices began to slide, the Trump Bayrock projects in Florida and Arizona crashed. Newsnight understands investors lost at least $10 million on the Trump Fort Lauderdale deal alone.
I checked out the location in Fort Lauderdale. It was an absolute great location. And I thought with the Trump organization behind it and Mr. Trump, putting his name on the line, I thought it would be very successful.
You're a dumbass.
2013, I challenged Trump about his relationship with Felix Sater.
Why didn't you go to Felix Sater and say,
Whoa, look at his hair.
You're connected with the mafia, you're fine.
What the fuck?
First of all, we were not.
Is that because of color correction? What's going on?
But your name was on it.
A very simple licensing deal.
Looks like the evil Gandalf.
Mr. Trump.
Excuse me, but I don't know. You're telling me things that I don't even know about. I mean, you're telling me about Felix Sater. I know who he is. I know of him, and I know who he is.
You stayed in bed, if I may say so, with Felix Sater, and he was connected with the mafia.
Again, John, maybe you're thick, but when you have a signed contract, you can't, in this country, just break it. Sometimes we'll sign a deal, and the partner isn't as good as we'd like, but that does happen. And by the way, John, I hate to do this, but I do have that big group of people waiting, so I have to.
Okay,
leave.
no, hold on.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Okay.
It's like when I play Infinite Warfare and we smack one of these easy mode bitches and they rage quit the game.
Unsealed by the courts. And Trump told
He
me,
got pressed, yo. He was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's time to go, son.
"There's a
Yeah,
bad
you're in the picture with the guy. What's up with that? He's like,
Yo, Fat Tony's getting fat. I need to go help him eat that food over there.
the Trump brand." Sater's convictions were reported by the New York Times in December 2007. The critical question is, before that date, did Trump know about Sater's racketeering past?
It's
Here's
crazy.
some evidence Trump could have found when they went into business together.
The guilty plea was publicly announced all over the world in a press release put out by the United States Attorney's Office in New
My
York
dude was with his lawyer.
and co-authored by the FBI field office. The press release went all over the world. It was published even in the Guardian. It was published in Australia.
That is a lawyer name, Fred Oberlander.
What kind of crook you dealing with from like, I gotta be on TV with my lawyer to talk about this man?
Conspirators. And that indictment identified Felix Sater by name as one of the co-conspirators. And that was public record.
A third pointer in 2006 that might have alerted Trump to Sater's past was a lawsuit alleging that he made a death threat against a Trump Bayrock investor. Ernie Menez had bought into Trump Camelback in Arizona. He found out about Sater's
Threatening
past,
people?
and then he said he got a phone call. The case was later settled, but in the lawsuit, Menez said that Sater threatened to have a man electrically shock Mr. Menez's testicles, cut off Mr. Menez's legs, and leave Mr. Menez dead in the trunk of his car.
No, in the trunk of
Sater's
Trump's
lawyer
car.
says this claim was an outright fabrication. Fred Oberlander has acted for clients suing Bayrock.
You'd have to be deaf, dumb, and blind, in my opinion. The ability of somebody like Donald Trump to know with whom he was doing business and to whom he was selling the right to use his name would certainly include finding the press release in the congressional record where it got put in November 2000.
Trump has said he didn't know about Sater's past until...
He said he always hires the best and the brightest. And then he's going to say, well, I didn't know who he was signing contracts with.
I didn't really know him very well.
He says he doesn't know anybody.
Mark Monkey, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated.
He always says he doesn't know anybody he ever works with.
But he only knows the best people. He only hires the best people.
Mr. Sater.
Over the years?
Over the years, if you could estimate.
Not many.
Not many.
If he were sitting in the room right now, I really wouldn't know.
He was in the picture with him, laughing.
But he said that I know who he is. I know him.
Sater had an office in Trump Tower, a Trump email,
Yeah, office in his
business
building.
Oh my God!
Mr. Felix Sater.
Like, this motherfucker will lie about obvious shit that's on the public record.
My life has been beyond.
Goodness gracious!
Says living with me is like reading next week's newspaper today.
Oberlander and Lerner say that Sater didn't reveal his convictions to the banks, and so
Yeah, Oddstorms. I don't really know what that means, but okay.
deals are built on bank fraud.
I don't know what a
His
chud
name
is.
still on
Somebody
Soho, which is a Bay
tell
Area
me what that
project,
is.
And he's still drawing profits off of that edifice built on fraud. He has in my opinion, an ethical obligation at a minimum to disassociate himself from Trump's Soho, because that project was built.
I mean, this man has two lawyers speaking on his behalf on TV, dude. How bad can you say you're president?
Sater's lawyer told Newsnight that his client
crazy.
will not comment on either Trump or Bayrock, adding that Sater
Chud is a Trump supporter, essentially.
Oh, that's derogatory.
So what about Trump's boast that he's 100%?
Wow, that's
Can anyone who did business with
I don't know. I feel like I just said a 4-letter word. Is that? I mean, it is a 4-letter word. But goddamn,
okay, yeah, that's clever. Yeah, so that's the documentary. That pretty much this mini doc. This like longer feature documentaries. This like TV shows about this, about Trump, his connection with the mob, specifically that real estate developer Felix. And then even more, as in the Newsweek article that we put up earlier, that just shows how much the span of 40 years of his dealing with Roy Cohn to all the way up to like the Russian mob, that he has been working with the mafia, the Russian mafia, the Italian mafia. This is crazy. I mean, so this is our president. This is their king. So, you know, the chuds, as we just say.
It's just I don't know, man. It really fucks me up that everybody knows that like Trump tells a lot of lies, but because I'm a person that like I like to avoid current events as much as possible. A lot like I hear things, but I'm not like, oh, in this particular situation, that particular situation. In this, but like when you look at this kind of stuff, like when we just saw him. We just saw him say that I know who he is. I don't know who he is, but I know who he is. Like he just said that, and then we play another clip where you're talking about the same guy, and he's like, if he was sitting right here, I wouldn't be able to tell you what he looks like. Mother, what? Like, dude, do you listen to yourself when you talk?
So like I said, this is what he's worried about if he leaves the office. He has so much skeletons.